Hello, everybody, and how are you doing today? Welcome back to another brand new edition of Weed on Wrestling. I am, of course, your host, Weed, aka Alan, and today we're just going to jump right into it. Starting off, we got to talk about what happened yesterday on the podcast. First ever guest in Secondhand Studios. I think it went well. Thanks to all those who tuned in and listened to us and all that. Kind of shoot the shit. Talking about the new Captain Cannabis coming through the ranks, hoping to be an indie scene wrestler in the next year, going to school down in Kansas City. So, best of luck to my buddy on that frontier in his life. I hope great things come out of it, and I hope he knows that he's always welcome here on the Weed on Wrestling podcast, where I get really fucking high and talk about wrestling. Speaking of that, WWE Universe, not much going on in it right now. I think the biggest thing that we got going, got to talk about 205 Live. And moving forward with the Austin Aries and Neville feud. It's shaping up to be a pretty good one. I think they're aligning it for WrestleMania. And I think that it should be a good match. Aries still carries around his banana. I kind of appreciate that, the continuity of things. I like A-Double. I like Austin Aries. I do personally like Neville as well. However, I think Austin Aries needs a little bit more of a push than Neville does right now. But A-Double, Austin Aries, continues to be fire on the bike. That's where Neville kind of lacks. Aries' promo skills is a lot better than that of the king of the cruiserweights, Neville. Austin Aries far superior than King Neville, but Neville basically kicked off the show, opening off the show with a open challenge, if you will. Any boys in the back want to step up, try to take out Austin Aries before, Neville gets a chance to, or before Austin Aries gets a chance to fight Neville at Mania. I think that's the way it's going. Two big names on a big stage, grandest stage of it all. I think that's the direction that we're moving forward with the 205 Live, division. Neville, still King Neville at the top. After Gallagher's loss here a week ago at Fastlane, I don't know how far he's going to drop. Right after that, we kind of had like a shit segment, letting the fans know that Noam Dar and Rich Swann got beef now. It's all over this. Still having the push for the Alicia storyline. It's fucking stupid. I mean, it's good to know that they're going to, keep fucking piling it on. That way we can not let it go away from the depths of our fucking recesses in the mind, because I want to forget about it, but I can't because they keep shoving it down our damn throat. They just continue to play a game of pass along the hoe. And thank you, Captain Cannabis, for that little nod, because that's what he said. This is all it is Alicia Fox is the hoe, and then she's just getting passed around. First Cedric Alexander, then Noam Dar, now she's Rich Swann, because I have a feeling that's the one sending the flowers. It's going to come down to it. But anyway, that led into a tag team match, some tag team matches, some action, and this is where the gentleman Jack Gallagher fell to. He's stuck back doing shit job in a shit match. It was the heels versus the faces. It couldn't get any more obvious on this. It was Noam Dar and Aria Davaria versus Rich Swann and gentleman Jack Gallagher. If you don't know who the fucking faces are, you haven't been paying attention. Throughout the match, it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a great match. It was just kind of a match. The fans kind of turned on him, started chanting, "We want Jack," throughout the first half of the match. I just don't understand how or why we keep having these matches. I don't understand why we are forced to suffer through a tag team match in 205 Live when there isn't even a tag team belt that they can aspire for. Maybe you're wanting to put a few more belts into the division, open it up to a 2-hour maybe show instead of just the hour. But without the tag team belts on the 205 Live division, what is the point of a tag match? I mean, all the competitors look good. They continue to look good at week in and week out. You're needing something to do with Team DIY coming out of NXT. You've got the potential to have certain stables. I mean, put Tozawa and... I can't say Funaki because he's on the announce table, but put Tazaki and Tajiri on a team together whenever Tajiri comes back against people like the likes of Brian Kendrick or Arya Davaria, somebody like that. If you're going to continue giving us tag team matches, at least the least you could do is have something for the competitors to aspire towards. Something... for lack of a better word, Cesaro would love it, a brass ring that they could reach for. But still, I'm left with the question of why. I mean, look, it was a good match overall. Rich Swann and Gentleman Jack Gallagher, they got the win in the tag match. The ending was decent. It was decent flow of events. It just kind of jumbled together, and it was way too short. And again, you're left wondering, why the fuck are we even doing this? What is the point of having a tag team match in 205 Live when there's no belts, other than just to relay to the fans that, hey, we have 4 competitors. That's it. We got 4 competitors. Look what they can do. Instead of building story for them in individuals competition, and instead of us helping them in the development phases of their career, on the mic, how to be charismatic, how to not come across to the fans as a dipshit, things like that your 205 Live competitors need. Instead, we're just going to stick them in a match with 4 of them just so they can show us 5 minutes of their skills. It doesn't work for me. Speaking of things that doesn't work for me, can we please just kill this Alicia Fox storyline right now? It's not funny. You're hurting all competitors involved and making her look like an idiot. And why isn't she wrestling? Why is she the only female on 205 Live? Why is that? It's just, I don't know. It's not entertaining and it's not worth my time of day. Every time she comes on the screen, I get not really upset, but I either mute it or I go check my emails or find something better to do. Skip forward. I fast forward a lot of segments through that Alicia Fox is on. But if you can't hold my attention for more than 5 minutes, or more than 5 seconds even, because she can't, why should I even be tuned in? Moving on. Tozawa and Brian Kendrick continuing their feud. It was a good little segment. And it was good for the Brian Kendrick's image, because it was Tozawa versus a Brian Kendrick. Little storyline, continuation of what happened previously, either on Raw or last week, where Tozawa says he wants to fight Brian Kendrick. Well, he fought a Brian Kendrick, just not the Brian Kendrick. And it continued with Tozawa's storyline of making him look dominant, winning in fine fashion. It helped both images. It helped both and didn't hurt either. Because Brian Kendrick didn't get beat, the Brian Kendrick didn't get beat, rather, it made him look smart, continuing with his lessons and being, a teacher of sorts. Whereas Tozawa, on the complete other side of the spectrum, he didn't look like an idiot getting fooled because he still competed, and he did it in dominating fashion, and he won. But, both of them come out ahead. Neither of them come out looking like an idiot. It wasn't at either one of them's expense. It wasn't a bad little squash match. I kind of enjoyed it, but anytime Tozawa is on the screen, I enjoy it because of the I mean, like I've said before, Stone Cold got a 4-letter word across of what? Jericho got a 2-letter word across of it. Tozawa's getting a grunt across. But it was used in the benefit of both competitors, is what I'm getting at. Instead of just making one person look weak, one person look strong, both came out on top. Both neither one of them ended up looking like an idiot or looking weak. But the Tozawa and the Kendrick storyline, I may have made fun of it a lot in the beginning, only because I didn't understand what Brian Kendrick was trying to do. And now that I'm kind of seeing how it's playing out, and they're not using Kendrick on a title level, I might be able to get behind it. I'm never going to like Brian Kendrick, but I might be able to respect him as an entertainer, as a wrestler, and what he does to help the youth come along and progress through the learning curve of what is the WWE Universe. Yeah, fuck, I might actually like Brian Kendrick's storyline. Fuck. I never thought I would actually say that in a sentence, but yeah, Brian Kendrick continuing to do good work, but I think it's not only helping him with a little bit of resurgence in his career, but it's really helping to get Tozawa across, and that's what we need. There was a lot that set up. It sets up a number one contender match for next week. Who's it going to be? I'm excited for the Cruiserweights. I'm really excited for the Cruiserweights. It was the main event time where Neville sent out that challenge earlier in the night, offering anybody to come out there and basically kick Austin Aries' ass. Well, who comes out but Mini Neville, who's bigger than Neville. But I'm still going to fucking call him Mini Neville. Nasty Nice comes out, and there's no way that Tony Nese can be under 205 pounds. I just don't see it. I can't see how, Neville's tipping the scale at like 203, 204, 205, but yet Nese is way bigger than him, and he's 198. I just don't get their weight scales there, how it works, basically. I mean, if Mini Neville, Tony Nese, Nasty Nese is in cruiserweights, Sami Zayn doesn't even have to cut any weight, and he can be a cruiserweight tomorrow. Anyway, moving on. It's time for the match, and when the match got started, there was a lot of ring rust on Austin Aries. A lot of ring rust on Austin Aries, but it's to be expected. He's been out for a while with the optical bone that he broke and all that. It was to be expected, to be perfectly honest with you. You knew coming into it he wasn't going to be 100%. He has been injured for a while now. I don't really want to say a timeline. Has it been a year? Has it only been 6 months? Am I missing him that much and it's only been 3? But yeah, there was bad botches here and there. A really bad botch on the apron, and there's a few missed spots here and there. But however, the ending, it was a nice little ending sequence of the match. A couple false finishes here and there. Some smart move sets by Austin Aries, proving that he is intellectual in the ring as well. Kicking the ropes and shit like that. Just nothing to really write home about. There was no complexity to it. Austin Aries wins, but he looks really rusty moving forward. If they're setting up the Neville Austin Aries storyline, he's got to step up his game a lot because Neville is still on a different level. Hopefully he'll continue to get better. I mean, honestly, hopefully. He can't get any worse, I will say that. Yeah. Meh. Again, it was one of those episodes of meh. That's all I'm left with is saying meh. Because it wasn't a good show. You can tell that they were kind of scraping together what they were going to do. They're running out of competitors, running out of storyline. Is this the end of 205 Live? I really hope not. I enjoy some of their storylines, but others still suck. I hope we can continue to move forward and, find superstars amongst the cruiserweights, because they've spawned superstars before. Like me and Captain Cannabis talked about the other day, is cruiserweights is what kept WCW alive for a few years, and without cruiserweights we would have never had like a Rey Mysterio or an Eddie Guerrero or even a Y2J Chris Jericho. Future stars are in this 205 Live division. We just need to give them a chance to get to that star status. Tozawa could be on main show. He could go